So here's a little thing that I like to use um, in my default tab because I've got this thing locked here to where you can't, in terms of animating and keyframing, where you can select the what you want to keyframe. Like say if you want to keyframe these two, then you select these two right here. They've been selected. You can kind of pose them how you want to. So you could just keyframe that one right there, and that one's going to follow it. But sometimes in the more advanced, I get to where I just key everything sometimes for every major pose. In other words, so you can just either select the entire thing, so you have everything selected. Working through, and this is kind of will come into play with some other types of rigs that you may want to do, is creating your own customized shelf up here. Now, and what you can do, you can add these like little scripts up here that when you select them, all these things will select, or if you select just certain ones, then it will just keyframe certain things. So about going out to do this, now once you create this shelf up here, it's going to stick to your preferences until you delete the preferences and redo it. And it won't be like that if you open the file up on another iteration on another computer. It's only going to be on your file that you've created that you work with, say on your laptop. So if I open this guy up on another computer in Maya, it's not going to be there. You need to kind of go about creating. That's one kind of thing about this. It's just how yours is, unless you set the preferences to open up every time. So how can I go about doing this? Well, first of all, you got to make a shelf up here. Now, all these shelves are customizable, and we kind of went over this in our modeling class, basically how to add stuff and like take away stuff. But if you want to add a new shelf, I have a Keyable shelf right here, and what I'll do is I'll just actually make a new one. So I'm going to make a new shelf. Enter the shelf name. It's going to be for my demo, or strictly for my robot keys. Maybe I need to make them all one word. Oh, we'll just call it robot for right now. Cool. So now, if anything I wanted to do to this, I know it's going to be my Keyables. If I just don't want to delete that one right there, but so this will be where I create my shelf. So basically, what you do is you can add certain scripts to this, and I just go down here to this here script box and open up the script box, the script editor in Maya. Now, if you notice, as you navigate through Maya, this is how Maya works basically. It has you selected, then it will have you telling you what's going on. You position that one to that one translation. Every time you do something, it basically records what you're doing. This is how Maya basically works. So what I did here, and I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to select all my keyframes, all my things that I want. Say if I want to keep doing this every single time, I'm going to select everything right here. So in other words, all this stuff right here basically, it's all kind of, so what I'll do is I'll just select them piece by piece. So say if I want to create a keyframe button up here that has all this stuff selected, I'll just select that one, select the wrist, select the shoulder, select the elbow, select the right shoulder. Oops, I don't need to do that. The right elbow. Right wrist, and see the way it's writing everything here. Actually, let me start over because I want to keep it to where I can just kind of cut and paste it. Let me work up top. So, like that one. Oh, it's probably not going to work either. Make this a little smaller so I can see the head, right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, left elbow, or excuse me, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, underarm, shoulder, spline 2, my root controller, left knee, right knee, right toe, left toe, right foot, left foot, and my wheel controller. So now this is my list basically up here all the way down from my head to world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these. I'm going to Control C, copy, and I'm going to paste them down here in the middle line. So now this is kind of my script. So what I'm going to do here is select them all again here, go up to File, Save Script to Shelf, enter the name of the shelf item. So these are my robot keys. You can call them complete, all of them. So now it's created a button up here. So every time I do this, all of these things will be selected, and I can keyframe. If I just move that one, I can keyframe my guy here. Instead of me just keyframing that, I can select all these again up here. And they all have keyframes set now. Say you wanted to individually make some, just like for the root control. So it will work the same way. Select that one, select the root control, Control C. I'm going to call this the waist, or the root. So say if I just wanted to key the root control there to a different one, go down further. And the difference is between is frame 1 has a keyframe set for all of the controllers. So basically every controller has one. Frame 5 now has a keyframe just for the root controller, or frame 4. Like if I selected this, like you don't see a keyframe there. But frame 10 now has a keyframe for all the controllers. It's just a way I kind of keep up with everything I'm doing, and it's kind of make things quicker a lot of times. So if you're just going pose to pose, you could just keyframe them and make sure they all get selected. And the reason I say this is because you will have been keying things that were parented to other things, so you may have thought that they were keyed because they were selected, but they're really not. So then if something's off moving, you're wondering, well, why doesn't it have a keyframe but it's still moving? Because it was initially parented to it and there's just not a keyframe to it. So you can create separate keyframes. In the end, you know, whenever I do my animating, I'll usually go back and do all my tiny poses, and then I usually set keyframes for everything so that everything has a keyframe on every single frame, just to help me keep up with things. So, but this is a good way here to kind of customize what you're doing and work a little faster. I learned in 3ds Max, and it had a keyable selection up here, and I never could figure out why Maya never came with that. So you could, it was a really kind of certain thing, especially made for this. Like, oh, you just want to key these things, we'll type it in. It had like a selection shelf, kind of like this right here for it. But with Maya, you just got to create a custom shelf. So, okay, well, hope this helps, or I hope this is a good trick you can kind of use. And like I said, you can use it for anything really that you want to select. You just need to open up the script box and utilize that. So, okay, thanks for watching.